channel. My name is Naomi Rook. If you're brand new to my channel, consider subscribing. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Also, make sure to ring the notification bell so you can be notified anytime I do upload a video. Today what I'm going to do is a product showdown. It has been a while since I've done one of these. I'm so excited. When I saw these two concealers hit the market, I'm like, well, they sound kind of similar. So I picked up both of them. I was really curious to try both of them, and I wanted to try both of them in comparison to each other. One on one side of my face, one on the other side of the face. So the two products that I am doing a showdown for is the new KVD Good Apple Concealer. I have seen this everywhere. I did not try the foundation. I wanted to, but then reviews started coming out that it was bad. But when I saw the concealer, I definitely wanted to try it. This absolutely looks beautiful. I really love the component, which is the black to ombre clear. I think this is really nice. So this is a lightweight, full coverage, hydrating concealer. It retails for $28. I got it at Ulta. You can also pick it up at Sephora. I picked this up in Light 105. It is a fair to light with a warm undertone. I wanted something a little bit darker and a little bit more neutral, but this color works pretty alright for me. It's a little bit light for me, and it's a little bit lighter than my other concealer. This is the Morphe Filter Effect Soft Radiant Concealer. This is the first complexion product I have used from Morphe. Super excited for this one. So I bought this in Light 4, which is also a warm undertone. The Morphe one is a little bit darker than the KVD. It's a bit more of a better color match for me, but I am so excited to try both of these together. The Morphe one claims to be hydrating, transfer resistant, and long wear. This doesn't have claims for coverage, and you will see that this one seems to have just a tiny bit less coverage than the KVD one. So if you would like to see how these two compare, the product showdown and all the details, I am also doing a wear test. So if you would like to see the wear test, how they compare, how the formula looks similar, or if it doesn't, then go ahead and keep watching, and let's get this product showdown going. Let's get into the showdown. I am so excited. So on my face so far, I do have the E.L.F. blurring primer. I am wearing the SheGlam. This is the SkinFinite hydrating foundation, and then on my eyeshadow I have the Blend Bunny Cosmetics Dollhouse palette. I have the two concealers right here. I have the KVD Good Apple Concealer. I have this in Light 105. This is not the one I wanted. I always go for more of a neutral undertone, but they were sold out of pretty much everything. But I did settle on Light 105. This is a fair to light. It has a warmer undertone. Like I said, I normally go neutral, but I figured when it's light, it doesn't really matter. It's not, as long as it's not super yellow. So this one is definitely a little bit too light. So there is the color, very light and brightening, and it's not super warm. It's not super yellow or anything. It's a little bit more peachy. I can definitely make it work, but I definitely wish it was a little bit darker. And then right here I have the Morphe Filter Effect Soft Radiant Concealer, and I have this in Light 4 Warm. So this is also a light to fair with a warm yellow undertone. I think these really do look a lot alike in tone. I would say for sure the Morphe one is darker. They definitely both have that warmer undertone, but they're not too warm. Like, I think they'll be able to work for my skin tone. I'm so excited to compare these two products. They both kind of have the same claim. So the Good Apple Concealer says it is lightweight, full coverage, and hydrating. And then the Morphe Concealer says it is hydrating, transfer resistant, and long wear. There aren't any claims on what type of coverage you can get from the Morphe one, but the Good Apple Concealer does say it's a full coverage. The price difference is actually incredible. So the Good Apple Concealer is $28, and then the Morphe one is $12. This is the first Morphe complexion product that I've purchased. I really liked the whole idea of a filter effect, soft radiant concealer. That sounds like something I would definitely like. I really prefer a medium. It can be full coverage, but I need something hydrating and something has a bit more of a luminosity, because I do have kind of a drier skin, but I do definitely need a little bit of coverage because I have a little bit more dark circle under my eye. So I am so excited to compare these two, have a bit of a showdown, and see which one is worth the money, if they compare in formula or if they are a lot different. So I'm going to go ahead and apply one on one side and then one on the other side. I think on my right side, right, so I don't forget, I'm going to do the Good Apple Concealer. I really love the little doe foot applicator. I think it is an absolutely intriguing shape, really kind of bended little doe foot. So I'm going to go ahead and apply that. I'm going to tap it right here. I really love the shape and the angle of this applicator. I think it's really different. So I'm going to apply some right there, and then I'm going to just pull some out right there and just a tiny bit there because I have a bit more redness on my cheeks. And then I'm going to go ahead and take the Morphe Filter Effect and apply about the same amount. This just has a flat, long doe foot. There's nothing wrong with this doe foot. I really do like this as well. I like that they're kind of getting away from the really huge applicator. I like to put my concealer exactly where I want it, and I find with those big applicators, you can definitely get overboard. So a little bit there, a little bit there. You can definitely see a little difference in the tone, but we're going to see if this works out. And then on my chin, I'm going to go ahead and put the Morphe in right here. And I'm going to put the Good Apple a little bit on my nose and maybe just a little on my forehead. I don't normally use this much concealer on my face, but for the sake of the video, I will definitely apply a little bit more. When it says hydrating or radiant concealers, I know I have some time to play with it, to let it sit down. I really do like to let my concealer sit, dry down a little bit. I find I get the most coverage, and like I said, when it says radiant or hydrating, I know I have probably about a minute of time where I can just let it sit. I know it's not going to be super mattifying and drying down within seconds, so I am going to let this sit and then I will come right back and we can blend it out. All right, so that is sat down for about a minute. I'm going to go ahead and blend it out. I'm going to start with let's start with the KVD side. I'm going to use a brush. I'm just hopping in with a little brush I got off of Amazon, and I'm just going to tap that in and not blend too much, just give it some tapping motions. This color is definitely a little bit too light for me. It is the 105 and I wanted the 109, but we're going to see if I can kind of make this work. I think I'm going to blend it out with my finger. I'm kind of just getting the urge to blend it out with my finger, so I'm going to go ahead and tap it out like that. Mostly blend it out, then I'm going to hop in with my sponge and see if I can get that just a tiny bit more seamless. Definitely the max coverage that I've gotten. I've used this a few times and I've never gotten super full coverage, but now that I've let it sit, it's a lot more coverage than I do normally get. It does look really nice up close. It doesn't look heavy or cakey, and it has a really pretty radiance, if you can see that right there. So I do like the finish of the KVD Good Apple concealer. I think that looks really nice. I went ahead and wiped off the brush, and now I'm going to blend in the Morphe one. I like the color of the Morphe one a little bit better. It's a little darker, so it looks a little bit more natural and not quite so bright under the eyes. I mean, it's still really brightening under the eyes, but not as light as this side. I'm gonna finish that off with my finger. Take my sponge, just a different side of the sponge, and tap that in. I'm definitely seeing more coverage with the KVD one. The Morphe, you can see kind of blended away right there. You can definitely see looking straightforward. This one looks a little bit more brightening, more coverage, and this you can see my dark line right there a lot more prominently. The KVD one's not heavy, but it looks a little bit more heavy than the Morphe one. I want to try apply a little bit more of the Morphe just to see if I can match the Morphe coverage with the KVD coverage. So I'm going to apply it right there and then let it sit still. But right, that is sitting down. I'm going to go ahead and blend out my chin, which is the Morphe one. A little Cupid's bow, which is also Morphe. See, I kind of like that a lot for face concealing because it's not super heavy and it definitely doesn't add like cakiness or anything. It looks really luminous. It almost looks like a highlighter, but it's a concealer, so it adds a little bit of coverage but some hydration. So I really do think I like that Morphe one a lot for face concealing. Next, I'm blending out the nose, which is the KVD one. And that one just has so much more coverage than the Morphe one. I love that I'm doing this because then I can really see the differences in formulas. I want to do this with a lot more concealers because you know the concealers that you like, but you don't know what the difference between that one versus the last one. I really like doing this because I can definitely see that the KVD has a lot more coverage. It's very, very seamless. It's a little bit too light. I think a little bit darker of a shade, I would absolutely love it. So I definitely think I'll probably exchange it for a darker color. But the coverage is nice. It looks really nice on the skin. But then the Morphe one looks really seamless and hydrated. This one looks a lot more dewy in finish, which I really like, especially for the face. So I'm going to go ahead and blend in the little bit I put. Oh, see, look at that coverage. That's exactly what I needed. I needed to add another layer. That is so pretty. It just looks really dewy and healthy. Alright, so there are both of the sides. The KVD Good Apple Concealer on this one, and the Morphe Filter Effect Radiant Concealer on this. I definitely see quite a large difference. This side has a lot more coverage. It's more of a satin. It doesn't look dry or cakey or heavy. It looks a little heavier, like you can see it's there more than the Morphe one. The Morphe one, I really like the tone of it. I think that color, what is it? The light for warm. I think the color works a lot better for me. I really love the radiance it gives me. It is super hydrating. It's a really good everyday concealer, or maybe even if you just want to use this for foundation. So I like both of them for sure. They both have a use in my collection. They're definitely a different type of formula. They're not duped for each other at all. If you're wanting something super radiant and lightweight, has decent coverage but looks really hydrating and radiant, the Morphe one is for you. If you like a little bit more full coverage but not heavy or cakey and not drying, then the KVD one definitely would be for you as well. So what I'm going to do, because I do have a little bit of a pimple right there, I'm going to take the Morphe one because I love the hydration that this gives me. I'm going to set that right there, let it set down. Honestly, like if you look at my face, you can't really tell that I have two different types of concealers on. I just look really nicely concealed and hydrated and healthy. Neither of them are heavy or cakey. I would definitely say I think I am teetering a little bit more towards the Morphe one because I do really love that radiant finish. I think it's absolutely stunning. The KVD one is definitely very nice. I think if I had a darker color, I would like it a little bit more. But honestly, I think they're both really nice formulas. There's not one of the two that I dislike so far. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hop off camera. I'm going to blend that in. I'm going to do all my powders, all my bronzers, everything that I normally do, all the setting that I do pretty much in every single video. And then I will come back with my final look. I am going to do a wear test today. It is 10:47, so I'm going to do a wear test. I will come back later this evening, show it to you after a day of wear. That could of course teeter my opinion if one doesn't age very well and it kind of gets crepey or crusty, anything like that, I will let you know. So let me hop off, do everything, and I'll be right back. Here's my finished makeup. I went with the same powders I always do. I went with the Cloud Set from Kosas and my Jacklyn Brightening palette. For my lips, I did my SheGlam and Natural Liner and then my Huda StayCation. I haven't pulled this lipstick out in a really long time. For bronzer, I did my Gimme Sun from Doll Beauty, and then I went in with the Dull Light from Doll Beauty highlighter. For my waterline, I used my Prancer ColourPop liner. Let's take a closer look to the concealer. So far, up close in my mirror, I am not seeing really any difference whatsoever. They both look really similar once I powdered them and put setting powder, setting spray, everything on top, did all my makeup. My under eyes look almost identical. I'm kind of shocked because they definitely looked a little bit different before I did everything else. I'm still seeing a lot of glow from the Morphe one, even though I did powder. I see the same amount of glow on my KVD. I don't notice a huge difference. So I'm really excited to wear test these today to see how they're going to wear throughout the day. I will throw in a little clip of my makeup in the daylight just so you guys can really see up close. I know it's kind of hard with the lights. And then I'm really excited to see you guys in a couple hours, do a little check-in, let you know how everything is wearing. And I'll see you in just a little bit. There is my makeup up close. You can kind of see it's creasing just a little bit on both sides. That's pretty normal. I honestly don't notice a huge difference from one side to the other. They look really, really similar. So from far away, it looks really nice. People aren't normally looking like, you know, right close to your face. But I'm pretty excited about both of these concealers. I'm definitely excited to see the wear test and see what I think. I put maybe a little bit too much between my eyes. I get a little cakey right there, so I have to be careful. But other than that, I'm pretty excited about all of this. So I am going to hop off. I will add this into the video so you can see it in daylight. And we will see you later this evening with a longer wear test. Hi guys. Alright, so this is a little weird. I am 3 days later. I wanted to come back because I've been testing this out. And the day I filmed the first part of this video, my makeup just went completely wrong. Everything was not meshing well. So I wanted to try it again. So I've tried it for the last 2 days. My thoughts have definitely changed. I'm actually going to return the KVD Good Apple Concealer. I don't like how it wears. It really looks heavy and then it just does not wear very well throughout the day. It looked great at the beginning, but then as you wore it, it definitely got heavy and cakier, and it kind of faded a little bit in a really weird kind of bally way. First day I thought maybe it was the primer and the foundation not meshing well together, but definitely tried it with products I know and love, and it did not look good. So I'm going to return that one. I'm wearing the Morphe one today, and I do like the Morphe one a lot better than I like the KVD. So I would highly suggest, if you were considering either of these two, I would highly suggest the Morphe, but it's not my absolute favorite concealer I've ever tried. It also can get a little bit more heavy and a tiny bit more creasy. I do like the luminosity to it. The coverage is a nice medium. It works really well with pretty much everything else I have. The color for me is really nice. The light for warm, I do really like the color. But like I said, it's not my absolute favorite. I definitely prefer other concealers in my collection, but I will keep that one. So hopefully this was helpful. It definitely kind of turned a little bit different than what I was expecting, but I really wanted to give it a wear test and make sure my thoughts were really, really well thought and put together. So hopefully you enjoyed this video and it's helpful, and I will catch you on the next one. Bye guys.